What's up guys, Justice here, back with another video, and today we're going to talk about how to use your belt properly. Now belts are probably one of the most common pieces of equipment used in gyms. You'll see them in just about any gym that you walk into, but a lot of people aren't using them the right way. Me personally, I never really used a belt much. I was either thinking that, it was a crutch that I didn't need, or I thought that I was just too weak to even be needing it. But through these last few months, I've really started using the belt, and I've noticed that it's really helped me not only deal with my hip pain, which is pretty interesting, but helped me to feel nice and tight while bracing and help me to move more weight. And it can do the same for you if you use it properly. So the first thing I want to say, and even though this isn't a video about belt selection, make sure that you invest in a quality belt. I got my belt from Best Belts, and it's thick, it works well, it's made out of good leather, it's durable, it's gonna last a long time, and it's custom to my circumference. Those belts that you get from a general sporting goods store aren't gonna really do you that well. The ones that taper from the back to the front, they have their uses, I guess, but if you're looking to squat and deadlift max weight, that's not what you should go for. So you can go for Best Belts, people like Inzer, and there's probably other companies now in between that make some solid belts, but just make sure you invest in a quality belt if you're going to use one. Once you have your belt, now it's time to talk about positioning, right? Where does it sit? A lot of people will place the belt really too low, almost as if it's a belt you use to keep your pants up. But even though it's called a belt, it should be high. Basically, as high as you can get it to where it doesn't interfere with your lower ribs. And I say this because if it gets too up and close and friendly with your lower ribs, the ones that float, if you're bracing very hard, pushing very hard, you can actually snap one of your lower ribs, and you don't want to do that. But you want to have it high enough so that you can breathe into it with your stomach. And so for me, that's right around belly button height. It'll probably be the same for most people. So make sure you don't have it too high, but definitely not too low. The next thing you want to do is make sure that it's tight enough. If you wear the belt super loose, then you sort of defeat the purpose of having it. A good recommendation is get it as tight as you can, where you can still breathe. You still want to be able to breathe in and out before you go under the weight, and then you still want to be able to breathe into it. It can't be so tight that you can't expand your stomach at all, but you do want to get it quite tight. So just make sure that you don't have it too loose. Now this is the one that's most important and probably the most overlooked. A lot of people, when they tell people how to use a belt, they say breathe into your stomach and then push out against it. And while that's not a bad start, you're leaving out so much. The belt wraps around your whole body. So you should be wanting to breathe into every inch of that belt. That should be your goal. So not just out the front where your tummy is, you're trying to breathe out of the sides, right? Out of your obliques. You're trying to breathe into it that way. Breathe even into your back and press against it that way. Every inch of it that you can, you should be trying to press out against. And this is gonna really lock down your midsection and help you to brace 360, which is gonna just completely change how that belt feels. And it's also going to help you keep a neutral back position. When you tend to breathe only in your stomach, you have the tendency to actually hyperextend when you sit back. And that can be a problem over time that leads to some spine pain and injury. So make sure you're breathing 360. I like to first take a breath out. That helps to lower my rib cage and set my spine in appropriate position. Then I think about breathing into my stomach, but into every area, the groin, the front, the obliques, even into my back. And that really helps me create a very good use of that belt by pressing into it, increasing that pressure in my abdominal area, keeping my spine safe, allowing me to lift more load more comfortably. So please, if you have a belt, make sure that you're thinking about pressing into it 360, every inch of that belt, the best that you can. And this is going to completely change the way the belt feels on you if you tend to be just a stomach breather. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Please comment below if you noticed a change when you adjusted by breathing into the belt this way. Like I said, it's gonna help you own that rib position and just overall use that belt to a much better capacity. Subscribe for more because there's always more, and I'll see you guys in the next video.